Luther Vandross was a man of elegance and precision, a singer whose velvet smooth voice shaped R&B for an entire generation. His meticulous approach to music and performance earned him both adoration and an air of intimidation. Behind that dazzling smile, behind the grand stage presence and masterful control of a live audience, was a man who did not suffer mediocrity lightly. To say he had standards would be an understatement. So when whispers circulated that Vandross had no love for En Vogue, the darling harmonizers of the 90s, people took notice. Why would a legend so deeply entrenched in the art of polished vocal delivery, a man who seemed to appreciate the craft of singing as much as anyone alive, have an issue with a group widely regarded as one of the tightest and most vocally sophisticated girl groups of all time? Luther Vandross was not one for idle gossip, nor was he known to publicly disparage fellow artists. But in private circles, his opinions carried weight, and when he had something to say, he said it with an air of authority that left little room for debate. The murmurs about his distaste for En Vogue didn't stem from casual annoyance or baseless diva drama. No, Vandross had a reason, and if there was one thing he never lacked, it was conviction. Some say it was a matter of professionalism. Vandross, a notorious perfectionist, was known for his rigorous expectations when working with background vocalists and collaborators. He didn't just want singers to hit their notes, he wanted precision, discipline, and an almost telepathic understanding of harmony. His background as a sought-after session singer before his solo fame had instilled in him a nearly obsessive dedication to excellence. And En Vogue, for all their industry respect, had a reputation for being difficult to work with behind the scenes. Stories of studio sessions marred by disagreements, missed rehearsals, and a level of internal discord that often led to delays were not uncommon. To Vandross, whose career was built on seamless execution, that sort of chaos was anathema. But then there was the musical aspect. Vandross had a specific appreciation for vocal arrangement, and while En Vogue undoubtedly had the talent, there was something about their delivery that didn't sit right with him. Some claim he found their harmonies too rigid, lacking the fluidity that made classic R&B groups, those he admired, like the Temptations and the Supremes, so effortlessly magnetic. Others say he felt their stylization leaned too heavily into pop territory, a space Vandross had carefully navigated but never fully embraced. He was, after all, a traditionalist in many ways, a man whose artistry was rooted in the gospel-tinged soul of yesteryear.
Vibe magazine, y'all remember Vibe, it was huge.
Yes, it
with
was.
The headline, En Vogue delivers, the funky divas talk fame, fashion, and the biggest diva of them are Luther Vandross. So I want to compare.
Hold on, please. Hold on, Jay. I need a second. I need a moment. Because I've been saying this. I have done over 80 interviews. I love you so much. I am praising God for you on this planet right now. Because I have said this in so many interviews, and people keep coming to me on Shade with these fake profiles saying, Dawn, you keep talking about the same thing, and you're the only one, and why are you talking about Luther Vandross so bad, and blah, blah, blah. I keep saying, we said it in Vibe magazine, but you gave the whole quote from the cover.
Because I had the copy.
Exactly. We had on all white, and Cindy was in a white top, and she was pregnant. We were all standing around her stomach, and we were all like touching her stomach. And yes, that is En Vogue delivers. I see it in big black letters. I want to say it was down to the right or left on the cover. And the biggest diva of all, Luther Vandross. I didn't say that by myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You just gave me vindication. I'm going to send you flowers. I love you, Jay.
No, I love you too, but I wanted to compare and contrast this because you said that you all went on tour with Hammer. Hammer was huge. So my comparison is like, because I hear so many people saying good things about Hammer helping them, like Pepper from Salt and Pepper has talked about, he helped them renegotiate a better rate. His brother told him what to say, Stanley Burrell.
Yes, Burrell, exactly, yep.
So what was it like touring with MC Hammer versus Luther Vandross?
Well, MC Hammer was pop crossover. So already you could see the audience out there was not just Black people, not just Asians, not just Spanish or Italian, but it was all people. So that's what the biggest thing that we noticed was that. Now, I want to say that we did MC Hammer's tour first. So by doing Luther Vandross, we kind of digressed and went down a little bit. I love Luther. He's like I say all the time, we sat there every night like little girls and watched his show like we were just learning. Oh my God, am I here and now? We're learning his steps. I promise. Boom. Boom. You know what I mean? His girls were so graceful, and their hands were graceful, and he was graceful with them. So he was amazing. I am not taking anything away from Luther. Let me precurse that, because everybody wants to look for something, find fault in what the fuck I say. He was amazing. But I just think that us going to do Luther Vandross after MC Hammer, we should have went up from there, not down from there. Because
Hammer was huge.
We did Wembley Stadium with him. Wembley Stadium is 80,000 people, 80,000 seats. With Luther Vandross, we did, it was like 12,000 seaters, 20,000 seaters, huge. Still no less, no doubt. It was huge, but not as big as MC Hammer. So again, why do we have, as En Vogue got bigger, had we, after we did that first album, had we gotten a big manager, and I hate to say it like this, but I talked about it. Cindy called him, we used to call him Loretta on the road. I mean, come on. So we talked about this. This is old news. So yeah, there's no, get in trouble with who? It's really hard when you tell the truth. Sometimes people look at it as, oh, she's throwing shade. You know, even when I did talk about Luther Vandross, they were like, well, why would you talk? Luther's dead and gone now. I'm like, exactly. So it's not affecting him at all. But we also talked about this in Vibe magazine when it happened. Luther also apologized to us and Anita Baker, because she went in on him too. He apologized to us for New Year. His New Year's resolution one year was that he's sorry for what happened with En Vogue and Anita Baker.
It's 1993. Luther Vandross is about to kick off his Never Let Me Go tour, spanning 6 countries over 77 shows, and invites En Vogue to be his opening act. But the ladies would soon leave the tour abruptly due to drama with the superstar. It all started when the girls declined to do the Arsenio Hall Show to promote the tour. At the time, they thought they had done too many TV appearances and were becoming overexposed. Also, Luther's stage was in the round, rotating in the middle of the arena. En Vogue's contract required their band to be on stage, but audience complaints about not being able to see the ladies led to bad reviews. When En Vogue wanted to move their band off stage, Luther resisted, causing further conflict. In their contract, En Vogue also couldn't wear the same colors as Luther or his crew on stage. No blacks, no reds, no whites. Known for their striking fashion, they were restricted to bland colors, which they disliked. They rebelled and wore their preferred colors anyway, escalating the conflict. This culminated in a major blow-up between Luther and En Vogue. Luther even put up curtains backstage to avoid seeing their faces. And when the members of En Vogue disregarded the curtains and walked through them in order to make their way to the stage, Luther called the cops on them for trespassing.
Then there's the story that has circulated in industry circles for years, the one about a particular awards show performance where Vandross and En Vogue were scheduled to appear in the same lineup. The details have been muddled over time, but the gist of it is that En Vogue either arrived late, missed a cue, or failed to meet some standard that Vandross held in absolute regard. Witnesses claimed he was visibly irritated, his normally composed demeanor slipping just enough to let those nearby know he was not pleased. Whether it was an issue of punctuality, professionalism, or just personal taste, the incident supposedly cemented his perception of the group.
On board.
I'm Terry.
I'm Maxine.
I'm Dawn.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're in Vogue.
Tonight, the Key of Life Award is being presented to Time Out, the truth about HIV, AIDS, and you.
This potentially life-saving video was executive produced by Arsenio Hall, directed by Malcolm Jamal Warner, and hosted by Irvin Magic Johnson and Arsenio.
They use their influence to warn young people that AIDS kills, that most people, gay or straight, get AIDS from unprotected sex.
The first of its kind, we honor this educational video for creatively bringing its message to hard-to-reach teenage population of America. Please welcome 3 men who took time out to literally provide a key of life to all of our young people. Malcolm Jamal Warner, Irvin Magic Johnson, and Arsenio Hall.
En Vogue. The pioneering quartet, known for their flawless harmonies, stylish presence, and commanding performances, became regulars on the Arsenio Hall Show, electrifying the stage and solidifying their status as one of the defining acts of the 90s. So when Hall planned his highly anticipated anniversary special, it was no surprise that En Vogue was on the guest list. What did raise eyebrows, however, was the presence of one Luther Vandross on the same bill, a pairing that, to industry insiders, carried a bit of an undercurrent. Backstage, the energy was a mix of excitement and careful navigation. Hall himself was in high spirits, eager to mark a milestone in his career with some of his favorite performers. En Vogue, always the picture of cool confidence, arrived prepared to deliver yet another unforgettable performance. Vandross, ever polished, exuded his usual aura of refined professionalism, though sources say there was a certain guardedness in his demeanor when it came to interacting with the group. What went unsaid that night was just as compelling as what was performed. After the show, Vandross was said to have made a few remarks about the experience, nothing damning, but enough to suggest that his reservations about the group hadn't entirely dissipated. En Vogue, on the other hand, took it in stride, recognizing that they had just shared a stage with one of R&B's most revered icons, even if the chemistry wasn't entirely seamless.
It was out of pocket, and for the longest, we had no idea what the problem was, and we were begging, Mr. Vandross, can you please tell us what we did so we can apologize for it, because we have no idea what it is that we did. And just come to find out what he said to us. Now, if this is the real reason, I don't know, but this is what he said to us. It was the reason he gave us, that he tortured us for 2 months. During that time, there was a TV show, Arsenio Hall. And Arsenio was a platform that a lot of music artists had the opportunity to debut their music on and showcase their talent. And so Arsenio Hall had always had us on the show. Every single we had, he was there for us. So anyway, it was his birthday. And Luther Vandross wanted us to perform together and do a performance for Arsenio Hall. We loved the idea. We wanted to do it, but we couldn't do it. And we tried to figure out how to fit it into our schedule, and we just couldn't do it because we were rehearsing for his tour, actually, and it was a lot of work. And we were also still doing a lot of press and touring ourselves. So, but we wanted to do something for Arsenio because he had been so supportive of us. So we thought, I tell you what, why don't we get a cake, run over to the studio, sing happy birthday, and then leave, because we were in the process of rehearsing. And so that's what we did. And the day that we did it, Luther was there. So we showed up, we presented a birthday cake to Arsenio Hall, and we sang happy birthday. And then we left and went back to the studios to finish rehearsing for Luther's tour. And so come to find out, he was mad at us because he said, I asked you guys to do the show with me and perform with me and let's do it together. And we were like, but we couldn't do it. We couldn't make it work, but we didn't want to not honor Arsenio Hall because he had been so supportive for us. So we were there it wasn't even an hour that we were there. We literally ran on set, gave him his birthday cake, said, happy birthday, and left.